So are we going to talk about the racist dog whistles in Jason Aldean's new song or no? Because this shit's got me fired up. When I tell you there was a visceral response to hearing this song for the first time today, I mean that shit. After listening to this song one time, the references that I heard were nods to sundown towns and lynch mobs. And actually, this song is a great example of how you don't have to mention race at all for something to very obviously be about race. So the song is called Try That in a Small Town, and if you're with me, you already know where this is going.
Country music artist Jason Aldean has caused an uproar due to his most recent hit song, Try That in a Small Town. And honestly, I really don't see the issue here. I mean, I do to a certain degree, from where the song, as what they will call, has racial undertones, since the video was shot from a courthouse in Tennessee, where I believe they said that a black man was lynched almost 100 years ago. And also in the video, there is footage of BLM rioters / protesters. But if we do what the media wants us to do by being enraged to see and hear the song and video, then we are the biggest hypocrites out there. I mean, come on. Rap music doesn't have racial undertones, but racial overtones, mainly against us black people. So who are we to talk? You can't expect someone to treat you with respect when you don't treat or show respect for your own. And when I listened to that song, Try That in a Small Town, I didn't take anything racial from it. What I took from it is that it was a man talking the way I would talk and think. Mess with my stuff, like my neighborhood, business, and family, and you're going to suffer the repercussions. I mean, that to me isn't racial. It's an eye for an eye. Because if some BLM writer or protester try to burn my house or car, shit, it's almost like Donkey Kong. So I don't see or hear white and black on this one. Just a man being a man. But let's hear what the media has to say.
Country music star Jason Aldean is pushing back tonight against critics after his music video for the song Try That in a Small Town was pulled off of country music television. Video and its lyrics getting backlash, in part because it was one filmed at the site of a 1927 lynching in Columbia, Tennessee. Aldean did not address the location in his pushback, but he is defending the lyrics that critics say are racist and encourage vigilante behavior. Aldean responded, and I'm quoting him now, "There is not a single lyric in the song that references race or points to it. Try That in a Small Town, for me, refers to the feeling of a community that I had growing up, where we took care of our neighbors, regardless of differences or background or belief." Joining me now tonight is Tennessee State Rep.
I mean, like you said, I didn't gather nothing racial from the song, from the lyrics. From what I heard the song twice. And that's the thing. We have to respect other people if we want to get respect for ourselves, But of course, the media wants to cause some type of division right here.
Representative Justin Jones, who, of course, last joined me back in April when you were famously expelled and then reinstated after he led a gun control protest on the House floor in Tennessee after 6 people were killed at a school shooting in Nashville. Representative, thank you for being.
Yeah, won't you mention about that school shooting in Nashville about 4 or 5 months ago? Let's not talk about the, what's her name, Audrey Hale and her manifesto. Where is the manifesto? Let's talk about that. That's a more important story than the situation right here. But like the media always wants to do, divert and deflect.
Here with us again tonight. Jason Aldean, as I noted, is defending this video, but I wonder what your reaction was when you heard the song and saw the video.
Yes, well, thank you so much again for having me, Caitlin. As a Tennessee lawmaker, as the youngest black lawmaker in our state, I felt like we had an obligation and a duty to condemn this heinous, vile, racist song that is really about harkening back to days past. There's no accident that he filmed this in the site of the Murray County Courthouse where the race riot happened, and where as well as the 1927 lynching of a young man who was 18 years old, Henry Cho, occurred. This song is about normalizing racist violence, vigilantism, and white nationalism, and it's about glorifying a South that we are moving forward from and that we're trying to move forward from here in Tennessee.
You know what I find funny about this whole take right here is that they're talking about violence in the song, and they have an interview with this guy, Justin Jones, a politician out there in Tennessee, and he has actual violence on video. Check this out.
That's Justin Jones, ladies and gentlemen, jumping on the roof of a police car and assaulting a driver with a traffic cone. Who could be surprised? It turns out he was mostly peaceful during the BLM riots. This is egregious conduct that didn't happen 10 years ago, 20 years ago, happened 3 years ago. I guess the advantage is at least it makes his misconduct in the Tennessee legislature look mild by comparison.
Yeah, so this guy basically does a little violence. Not heavy, but he actually did get indicted for it. And I believe he served a little jail time, had to pay a fine and so forth. And then, of course, like this guy said, 3 years later, he's now a state representative, politician in the state of Tennessee. So it tells you that, crime does pay, at least when you're a Democrat. And
Aldean, obviously, he didn't write the song, but clearly sings it. And, for some of the lyrics, we were looking at them earlier. One of them is cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. We'll try that in a small town. Are those the lyrics that you're referencing?
And what's racial about that? I mean, I've seen white folks do that as well as black folks. I mean, there's nothing racial about that. I mean, anyone that does something like that has disrespect for law enforcement, how you think they're going to treat your personal property? And all he's saying is that if you're going to do that to the cops and you think you're going to do that to me and not get no pushback, think again. I got no problem with that.
Those lyrics and the lyric that says, see how far you make it down the road. I mean, this is a lynching anthem. It's an anthem that reminds me of the stories of young men like Trayvon Martin, of Ralph Yarl, young men, Ahmaud Arbery, who were killed by white vigilantes. I mean, this song is not.
Hold on. That Ralph Yarl, I forgot his name. He wasn't killed. These people, man, they just want to say anything just to add more flames to the fire, and they expect people not to know this. It's very unfortunate a lot of people don't. But yeah, that Ralph guy, I think that's someone that knocked on the door. The white guy, the old white man, shot through the door, hit the teen. He lived. And I think right now they're going through a court case. They're going to court, and he's been arraigned. And I believe he eventually will be sentenced, rightfully so, because what he did was wrong. But for him to say that he was killed, come on, man. Don't be so disingenuous.
About small towns, because if it was about small towns, where was Jason Aldean when the Murray County people were fighting for their clean water? Where was he when hospitals in these small towns were closing? Where was he when people in these communities were suffering from starvation wages? Nowhere to be found, but instead he comes to sing a song that harkens back to division, that harkens back to fear of outsiders, this racist violence that led my grandparents to leave these small towns, fleeing Jim Crow terrorism. This is something that we must condemn, because if we normalize this racist, violent rhetoric, then we normalize racist, violent actions. And we cannot allow that, because we see what's happening in this nation. I was expelled challenging gun violence. This song is about this proliferation of guns in our communities, of violence, of taking things into our own hands when we feel threatened by people because they're different than us. I mean, this is shameful, and we must condemn it.
Yes, you were expelled because you broke house rules. You know what the rules are, but you still went ahead and did what you did. You took the megaphone, him and the other Justin guy, and the taller white lady, I forgot her name, the Tennessee Three, as they call them, took the microphone and spoke out of line during a session at the state house in Tennessee after the shooting by Aubrey Hale that they don't want to release a manifesto for. But he basically went out of line. So he received the punishment that was in line with his bad behavior, but he doesn't want to own up to it. And as far as him talking about the situation about the water in Murray County where the video was shot at, that has nothing to do with the cost of tea in China, as they would say. I mean, once again, he's trying to deflect. This guy is talking about in his video that he shot at that particular location. He's basically talking that there's going to be pushback. We're not going to just allow anything to happen. We're going to protect our own. He's basically this Jason Aldean, and from like I said, what I heard from this song is that he's talking about self-ownership, self-pride.
What do you make of how he noted? I mean, Jason Aldean, for those who don't remember, was obviously performing at that festival in Las Vegas when a gunman opened fire and killed 58 people. It was the deadliest mass shooting in American history. And he said in response, quote, "No one, including me, wants to continue to see senseless headlines or families ripped apart." I mean, do you think that rings true when you listen to the song?
I mean, when I listen to the song, I hear this normalization of gun extremism. We are a state that has been plagued by mass shootings. Just this year, Covenant, Elementary School. This is not about bringing us together, but it's about lifting up division and fear of neighbor. This is not about caring for each other. It's very shameful that this is what he chose to offer in light of what we saw this year. In Murray County, where he performed this song, just last week, the KKK left flyers in front of black churches. I mean, let's be honest about what this is about.
KKK, come on, man. It's 2023. Ain't nobody worry about a damn KKK. So what? Rip up the letter and throw it away and have your service. No one's concerned about this. I mean, and the fact that they're trying to say that this song is racist and is endangering to black people. I mean, come on. What about drill music? I mean, up there in Chicago, there's a subgenre term in the hip hop industry called drill music. I don't know too much about it because that's a little past my time. I listen to the most up to date rapper I listen to right now is Future and Drake. But I don't know about drill music where they rap about killing other rappers, rap about killing other people in gangs who happen to be black. I mean, you got, I think it's like Chief Keef, Lil Durk. I think there's one guy that died, King Von. I mean, those are 3 guys that come to the top of my head. But those are rappers that are pushing violence into their neighborhood. And also a lot of black kids are listening to this and it's feeding into their psyche. I mean, that is something that's more of a problem and more detrimental to young black youth than this song, Jason Aldean. But once again, they ain't going to talk about that because it's okay for us to kill ourselves.
And so we must be truthful to condemn this about the proliferation of guns in our community. Our vision is a new South, a South where we care for each other, where we uplift the beloved community, where we lift up a community where our kids are protected and not, guns. And so this is not about ending violence. This song is about promoting violence, normalizing violence, particularly white vigilante violence. And Jason Aldean should be ashamed of himself for promoting this song that seeks our darkest history instead of our better angels in this nation.
Tennessee State Representative Justin Jones, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for nothing. Just more misdirection and propaganda. White vigilante violence. Man, what? Really? Yo, you're not being a vigilante when you're defending your property. Or in this case, a small town. But to this politician and many other politicians out there, especially Democratic politicians, they see this as vigilante because they don't respect citizenship. And most importantly, they don't respect gun ownership, i.e. our Second Amendment, which is the angle they always tend to use in certain situations like this. They want to attack this song by using racism and gun rights. But, let me know. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about the song, Try This, Try That in a Small Town? Is this a racist song in your opinion?